we all have those clients, don't we? We've told them what they need to do. We've got that information there for them. We've said to them, here it is, like this is what to do, this is how to do it, and they won't do it. What do we do then? What do you do when you've asked them to do it? You think you've gone through everything. What's going to happen?
Mentoring with Geraldine is a bite-sized practitioner podcast for naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists, coaches, and practitioners. This podcast responds directly to the needs of you, the practicing natural therapist. We have interviews during the holiday season and business and mindset support each week, so you'll get the variety you need to enjoy and stay motivated in your practice. Don't forget to subscribe to receive the weekly episodes. And if you want to connect with me, always check the show notes because that's where you'll find the links to book appointments. Now, let's get started.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mentoring with Geraldine and the Bite Size Podcast. Well, today it really is bite size because this is our interim podcast. So this is the one between last week. We had all the activity. We had everything happening last week. And next week, we move on to the new subject of the month. So what did we have last week? Last week, we were talking about our confidence, weren't we? We were talking about where our confidence leaks out and how to stop that leak. There's a workbook inside Podio where I store everything in the strategy lab. And for $35 a month, I think it's probably worth even doing one if you don't do two. And you can cancel at any time. So what did we talk about? We talked, so what was my opening line? I think my opening line was something along the lines of, if you've ever finished a consult and immediately wondered if you got it right, then this one's for you. Well, that was meant to be my opening line. I doubt I used it because I never follow a script. I have all these dot points that I write out. And sometimes I start with, you know what, I'll start, because I would start typing. I'm like, oh, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say that. And then I said dot points and go with the dot points. But the workbook, of course, that's what goes into the strategy lab. And so I did actually work through the workbook so that everybody in there can use the workbook. Because, you know, when we think about it, isn't it confidence? We're in solo practice and confidence is tough in solo practice. Okay, another plug. That's why I do the Monday group. Because of confidence, because of second guessing, because of needing those answers when we need them so that we can go through with somebody else. But what's the myth that we're sold? We're sold that confidence comes after enough study. And that's just not true because we've got the study and yeah, we can keep studying. You know, there are people with, you know, more degrees than we've had hot dinners and more letters after their name than there are waterfalls in the world. But we keep studying, but we have to do the job. You know, can we do the job? And doing the job means looking outside the square sometimes. It means asking other people. It means collaborating with your client to achieve the goal, to get where we want to be because we've worked together with our client. Okay. With our confidence, we've got the leak. So we've got three leaks. We've got the comparison leak, we've got the result leak, and we've got the authority leak. So the comparison leak, that's comparisonitis. You've heard of it before. That's where you're looking. And I hear this all the time. Oh, no, my friends are doing really well. I see them on Instagram and they're doing incredible. And I see them here and they're doing amazing. But when you actually sit down, I sat down with a couple of graduates. They must have been graduated 5 or 6 years now. And I said, who's really made it? And they were like, oh. And then they both said, oh, this one person. And they both named this one person. And I was like, that's great. Now, how do we know she's named it? Oh, she was looking to employ somebody else. I was like, okay, is she looking to employ somebody else to replace herself? And they said, oh, yeah, she's on maternity leave. I said, so how much work is there really? Because we can never replace ourselves. People come to see us. And I'm like, oh, so she's probably doing the same as we're doing. I'm like, okay. Some people will always be more successful than we are in that successful looks different to everybody. Okay. So comparisonitis, put it away. Then we've got the result leak. And that's where the client, you give them the treatment plan and they don't come back. Or you're second guessing every single treatment plan. So we talked about that. That's in the worksheet. And then, of course, we've got the authority leak. And that's where I've given you the lines to say, because the GP or the partner or the family member or whoever it is has pushed back against what you're saying, has made statements to diss you basically, and, for the client not to come and see you because of what they've said. And so that client changes their mind. The biggest one for me was the hypnosis one I think I've told you about. She paid, I spent an hour with her on the phone, like on 3 separate occasions. It totaled an hour on the phone with her, and she paid me $300. And then her priest told her she couldn't have hypnosis, and she asked for her money back. So I lost money. Not only did I lose time, but I actually didn't have in my T's and C's then that if I give you a refund, it's minus fees and charges. So I lost money. I lost like $30 as well as that time that I'd spent with her. So there is a true authority leak, and we need to have the answers to deal with that authority leak. So that was in last week's. Now this next week, so we're actually moving on to coaching the client. Okay. I'm really into coaching the client. We all have those clients, don't we? We've told them what they need to do. We've got that information there for them. We've said to them, here it is, like this is what to do. This is how to do it. And they won't do it. What do we do then? What do you do when you've asked them to do it? You think you've gone through everything. What's going to happen? All right. So that's where what we do changes from clinical to coaching. Now, I've got to be honest. I didn't do coaching I think I trained as a coach for 7 years. I did a diploma or a cert for something or other. No, I think it was a diploma of coaching. I don't know where the certificate is. I've lost the certificate. Actually, it's in a box. I shouldn't say I've lost it. It's in a box. We moved house and lots of things are still in boxes and the certificates are all still in a box. So anyway, so prior to that, I would see people 3 times, right? That's all I'd see them for. Because most of them, I've got to say, that initial problem or that brought them to me was kind of fixed, right? So it didn't take many times. But in saying it was fixed, was it truly fixed? Probably not. In that they had those changes, they implemented those changes, they did great, but changes don't stay changed if you don't coach the person. Loads of evidence for working with someone over time so that the changes they've implemented in the short term become long-term lifestyle changes. And that's what the coaching does. So you might be able to resolve that initial issue with a couple of supplements and a basic change of diet, and hey, presto, your person's fine. I mean, Bali belly, fine. If they come straight back from Bali, or, I shouldn't blame Bali, should I? Or, Bombay belly or whatever it is, belly, they've come back and you can resolve that because it's happened really recently. So it's quick to resolve. But if they went to, where did that guy go? Peru or Bolivia or somewhere? And then he came to see me 20 years later, it's going to take a lot longer to resolve that issue. Okay. So some things are going to be a short time, but mostly the lifestyle change, it takes a while. So that person hasn't changed. They haven't done what we've asked them to do. And that's where we're going with our next podcast. So I'm really looking forward to catching up with you next week, where we're going to be going through coaching the client. That is going to be the theme of the last 2 weeks of May. So I look forward to seeing you then. I hope you have a good one. Look after yourself. You know what they say, if I wouldn't do it, don't do it. And since I'm a Gen X, I've done everything. So you've got free reign. Go and enjoy yourself. Cheers. See you soon.
Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for the weekly episodes. Bye for now.